This video is sponsored by Deep Cut Studios. For a wide range of fantastic gaming resources such as battle mats, dice trays and pre-painted bases, check out the description below.
Hi guys and welcome back to CNG Productions. My name is Tom and in this battle report I'm going to be giving a go the Elder Scrolls Call to Arms by Modiphius, which is a single player co-op or opposed game. I'm going to be giving the Delve mode, the single player, a go, where essentially you take the role of the Dragonborn or any other key figures from the Elder Scrolls universe in Tamriel and you give them a run out versus some adversaries, which is like AI opponents. Now, I picked up this game this week. I've just painted the set together and given it a couple of goes. This is by no means going to be a rules exhaustive kind of playthrough. This is more just an intro and a try, see how it does on the channel, see how it is to record. I'm going to try and film each activation in one go, so hopefully I'll be able to get through everything I need to get through, but just bear with it and let me know what you think. So I'll introduce you to the setting and what the scenario is going to be, and let's get to the table. And here we are for today's Delve scenario. This one's called The Realm of the Dead, and this is a really nice introductory one. Even though it's scenario 4, it's the first in the Bleak Falls Barrow trilogy, so I thought that would make sense. Now, I'm going to be playing this at the 0 to 99 septim limit, so I'm playing it on a 2x2 board, and I've only got the Dragonborn is going to be my hero, just because it makes things a lot quicker. It's nicer for you to watch on YouTube. It also means we get stuck into the action a lot quicker. So the Dragonborn, the champion of Skyrim that we've got, she's got the kind of standard beginner's loadout. So she's got the steel sword, a wooden shield, leather armor, and a potion of minor healing. So she's coming in at 5 wounds, and you can see I've put some green tokens just to represent her stamina. So as I use them, I'll take them away. As I regain them, I'll put them back, just so it's visually a little bit more attractive for you to see. We have about 100 points worth of adversaries, just to kind of make it a little bit more challenging. So there are 3 skeletons and 3 Draugr. And 4 of them start on the board. So one of them starts in base contact with our single objective. We don't know what it is yet. And then we've got 3 treasure tokens on this abandoned water mill. I don't know, maybe the skeletons of the former inhabitants that are dotted around that they are protecting there. So we've got 1 Draugr and 1 skeleton who will start off the board. They come in with the spawn rules. So basically, when I draw an event, they can come in anywhere along this kind of half as they walk onto the board. So the strategy for this is pretty straightforward. The Dragonborn gets a VP for every kill of an adversary they get. The game lasts 8 rounds, and essentially we might be able to get additional VP for this objective. Of course, we've also got a quest, which I haven't flipped yet, so let's see what we get. We've got a quest. It says few and far between part 1s. This is one of the chained quests. It says, you've been asked by Ingham Blackbriar to help him find alchemical ingredients for his master Eligrim, but they aren't easy to come by. So the requirement says there must be at least 3 treasure and or objective tokens. There are. Each time your model searches a treasure token or controls an objective, they may take an intelligence attribute test to search for ingredients. The same token may not be searched in this way more than once. If I pass 3 of these tests, I succeed and I get an extra 2 VP. I'll take that. That sounds good to me. Now, aside from that, that's pretty much everything you need to know to begin with. Obviously, I'll talk you through how to play. There are some oaths that we can take finally, though, which is kind of a statement of intent. So we've got 1 for hunting all the treasure chests, 1 from killing an enemy that's sneaking, and 1 that wipes out all the adversaries on the board. I'm not confident about wiping out adversaries, and I've not got the sneakiest loadout. So why don't we take the treasure hunter one? So I will search all the treasure tokens before the game ends, and that'll get us 3 VP if we succeed, or it'll be minus 1 VP if we fail. Now, I think that's pretty much everything, so let's get down to the board and let's get scrapping. Okay, here we are then for turn 1, and the Dragonborn has initiative. Now, interestingly, when you're in Delve mode, you alternate initiative, so the adversaries will have it for turn 2, which I'm not looking forward to. But another important part of this is that actually when you end an activation within 6 inches of an adversary, they react to you. So I've got to be very careful here, because if they react, they'll still have another activation after that, so I'm potentially giving 1 activation to their 2. So we're going to be careful with this anyway. Now, at the very start of our activation, we replenish our reserves of stamina or magicka. We don't need to worry about that. So first thing Dragonborn is going to do, she is going to spend 1 of her stamina tokens, and she's going to sprint. So all models move 6 inches, but if you boost it, you can sprint 9. So she's going to sprint to this position here, and she's going to deliberately trigger this adversary in front of this Draugr to try and see if she can take him out of combat next turn. Now, I still have another action to play with because everyone has 2. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to throw up a block, which I can do because I have a shield, which is to give me the blocking condition. Now, this can be used to add a yellow die to my defense. It can also be used to do a shield block if I really want to, but I think at the moment that's all she needs to do with her 2 actions. Now, obviously, there is somebody within 6 inches of her, so this fellow is going to react. So we need to roll and see exactly what he does using the adversary matrix. So we roll a black die. We get 2, and we get a sword. So the sword is the one that I think takes advantage here, which would be a M for move. He's on the path of might, and he's aggressive. So an aggressive move essentially means he will move into attack range and then make an attack action. So he is going to move to here. He doesn't need to sprint. You presume that adversaries basically all have at least 1 stamina that they can always use. And he's going to take a swing at our lovely Dragonborn. Now, these guys hit like a ton of bricks. They're quite nasty. So they have got a, obviously, big double-handed kind of claymore, which has a green dice and a black die. However, as I said, they will naturally use the stamina to boost this melee attack. And because they're aggressive, they'll turn it into a power attack, which means they add a yellow to their attack roll. So they have got a mighty strength of 3, so they need to roll under 3 to be successful. Let's see what they get. They get a 2 at -3. They are very successful with that, as I've just rolled it over. And they get 1 success with an additional kind of piercing trigger or additional action, which is what that symbol means. So because they've boosted this attack, it's going to stagger me if it does any damage. And in addition, it's piercing, which will take away 1 of my successes. So let's see how we do the Dragonborn. She has got a native yellow dice on her armor, and she gets an additional yellow because she is currently shielding. So I need 2 here to avoid damage, essentially. And we do. We successfully get 2. And I could have actually rolled an extra one there because I got a trigger here to actually get an additional yellow dice, but she is fine. She luckily has been able to dodge that damage. Anyway, moving on, that's not the actual activation for the adversaries. They've got another activation here. This guy can't go again, so we'll say that he's activated, but the rest can. So I've got a baggie of tokens here. We're essentially going to go 1 and 2 for the skeletons, 3 and 4 for the Draugr. I'm just going to work my top down to try and work out who it is. So we have drawn a 2. That is going to be this skeleton fellow here. So let's see what this one does. Now, these skeletons are on the path of shadow and they're cautious. They behave quite differently. He also gets the sword. So that is going to be the path of shadow. And it is going to be an attack action. That's interesting. Right. So, ranged attack. And now I don't think you can really shoot into combat. I'm not sure how the rules work with it, but we'll do it anyway, just for the sake of keeping things interesting. So, what range are we at the moment? I think the short range of the skeleton's bow is 8 inches. Are we within that? We are not currently. So, they are able to make a ranged attack, though. It just means it'll be on long range, which will be 2 yellow dice. So, let's see how we do with this. They have got a agility of 3, which they will need to roll under, and they have got 2 yellow die that they will need to succeed. So they get a 2, and they get 1 success going through. And would you know it, this one also has piercing. So again, the Dragonborn is going to be rolling their defensive dice. I'm just going to steal this. And to see if we can get 2 to avoid damage, we get... we're successful. We're absolutely fine. That's no problem. And that will end that skeleton's activation with it having failed at shooting our girl. So that's the end of the activations. And actually, I was correct to shoot in there. I think if you roll a failure on your white die, then I get basically the Dragonborn could have chose for the arrow to hit another adversary instead. So with everything done with the activations, we now need to draw an event card. So let's see what we get. We get Secret Paths. Choose 1 friendly model that isn't staggered or incapacitated. Luckily, our Dragonborn is not staggered because she didn't take any damage. That model may immediately move up to 6 inches, ignoring terrain and other models, and it may not end its move in contact with an enemy or in impassable terrain. And because we've got this symbol in the corner, we also need to spawn in an adversary. So let's move ourselves. Well, I'll tell you what, we've got an objective right next to us, haven't we, just here? So why don't we just take a secret tunnel and we'll just teleport ourselves round to here. Now, I think this still counts as a move. So I think basically your shielding goes as soon as you perform any action. So I'm just going to take that away. But we now need to see what this objective is going to be. When you're within 3 inches of one, you get to flip it and see what it is. So what are you, secret objective? You are... Oh, you're a strategic objective. That's really cool. So basically, this is one that if you control it, you gain 2 VP in the scoring round, which is pretty solid. So
We have got Spawn Adversary in. I'm going to add a token out of these two that are off the table and draw one at random. It's going to be a skeleton. Right. Skelly boy, let's see where you come in. So let's draw a odd number for this top one, an even number for here. It's going to be a fail. Let's try again. A 2, an even number. So a skeleton basically pops up just near the Dragonborn here after hearing the kerfuffle and the clashing of swords, shall we say. So that's that secret path all done. Now we need to go to scoring. So we actually are going to score some VP in this third turn because we are controlling this objective. So that gains us 2 victory points, which is really good. Now, if we can get to 5, we can actually level up our Dragonborn. She's far more survivable in that sense. But if you remember, we also have our quests. So whenever we're controlling an objective or searching a treasure token, we need to take an intelligence attribute test to search for ingredients. So the Dragonborn's intelligence, it's not fantastic. It's 3. So let's see if she is successful. Can she find some ingredients? She can't. She gets a 9. She's not sure what ingredients are, let alone which one she's looking for. But that'll bring us to the end of this first turn. On to turn 2 and 2 VP. It's not going too badly, but we've got the adversaries now. They have the initiative. So I'm going to draw one at random. So 1 to 3 will be the skeletons, 4 and 5 will be the Draugr, working our way down. We get 1, which is going to be this top skeleton here. So let's see what he wants to do. Rolling a black die, we get that was a helmet. So the helmet is going to be for the Path of Shadow, and F, which is quite simply going to be a fallback. So they are cautious, which means they are going to sprint away from the enemy. So it does not like the look of the Dragonborn. It's going to sprint. It's going to simply sprint right round the back here. Now at this point, it would try and block if it can, but skeletons can't. They don't have a weapon to do it. And it would try and hide. And unfortunately, the Dragonborn is still within line of sight, so that doesn't happen either. So quite simply, this one has activated. They are done. And now we're going to go on to our best girl. Now, what is she going to do? So this treasure that has been left quite nicely unguarded. So let's replenish our reserves to start with. So we go back up to full stamina. Now, I think, are we within 9 inches? We are, I think, with an inch to spare, which I think will probably get us up that ramp. So, yeah, let's go get stuck in, shall we? The Dragonborn is going to sprint over to this marker by spending one of those stamina for a boost. And she is going to search this treasure. So let's see exactly what it is. So remove this. We've got a treasure token. Now what we need to do is we need to flip this over and see if it's a locked treasure chest. It is not. That is good news. So what you do here, you just roll a white dice. If you get any success, you're okay. If you get a failure, you have to do a trap first. Let's see what we get. We get a success, fantastic. And the Dragonborn is a treasure hunter. So I believe that means that she actually draws 2 cards straight away. So let's see what we get. We get a sweet roll, of course we do, which will help us gain some health. And we get a ring of fortified armor, which is an attachment, which gives us an additional yellow dice on our defense. That's pretty handy, isn't it? I think that's definitely going to be immediately equipped to us. Now, that is our 2 actions with the Dragonborn. But again, we have been able to search a token. So let's see if we can find some ingredients in this. We need a 3 if you want to remember this. She does not. That is a 6, which I think that means we're going to fail this quest. But we'll keep searching anyway, just in case. So that's the Dragonborn's 2 actions done. But as we said, she is probably now within 6 inches of 2 enemies. So we need to see which one is going to react. So what we'll do is we'll just roll odds and evens. So odds will be the skeleton, evens will be the Draugr. Odds, so it'll be this skeleton here. Let's see how they're going to react to the Dragonborn. They get a 3. So Path of Shadow is going to be a move action. So because they are cautious rather than aggressive, a cautious move will basically move them away, and they will then try and hide. They'll try and move to cover, ideally. So I think the nearest bit of cover that this guy can use is probably behind the well. So he's just going to dash to there. Now, again, they would try to block if they can, but they can't. And the Dragonborn can see them, so there's no point in hiding. So it's just basically going to defend behind that well, which is not too bad at all. I think the Dragonborn has definitely touched lucky with that activation, but I definitely need to start getting some kills to try and get some VP on the board. So with that said, we've now got the opportunity to go over to the event phase. So let's see what card we draw this time. We get Ancient Riddles. Place a puzzle objective token on the gaming area no closer than 8 inches to any player-controlled model. So let's grab a puzzle token. 8 inches now. I'm right in the middle of the board, aren't I? So it's actually going to be quite difficult for me to arc where this is going to be. Where would we put the puzzle, do we think? I think it can probably go... Oh, should we pop it somewhere near these trees, near the exit? Maybe there's a clue that leads us towards Bleak Falls Barrow that we can try and get towards next turn. But nothing else needed there. We've just got one adversary that spawns in. We know exactly who it's going to be. It's going to be the last Draugr. So let's add his token to my bag, and we'll go for odds up here, evens down here. Let's try again. Getting crits, getting everything. Odds up here. So an angry man with a sword is just going to turn up to protect potentially that puzzle token as he comes out of the trees. But that's not a bad showing for the Dragonborn. I'll definitely take that. So we need to see if we score any VP, and unfortunately at the moment I don't think we have. So we're still on 2 points there, even though we've got some pretty good treasure. So we'll go over to the third turn. Okay, on to turn 3 then, and things are looking a little bit tasty here now. So the Dragonborn luckily has initiative, so she's going to replenish her supply of stamina. And I think quite easily she's going to go get stuck into this Draugr here. So she's got a move of 6 inches. I think she can easily hop down and get into base contact with both the treasure and the undead. And I think she's going to make an attack. Now, the Dragonborn is very tasty in combat against the undead because they've got Banish the Wicked, which adds a yellow dice to her attack. So she's already got a green and 2 yellow for her steel sword. She'll add another yellow here because of that special rule. Now, I think I'm going to spend one of my stamina to boost this and make it a precise strike to add a green. So I need to roll under my strength of 5 here. Oh, she rolls a terrible roll. So it's automatically a failure here anyway. But no damage really would have done much at all. So she is unsuccessful in that. She really doesn't want to hurt this Draugr. And now he gets to respond because obviously he's the closest one. So let's see what action he's going to take. Pretty straightforward. So he's on the Path of Might. That's going to be an attack. So he's going to swing back at her with his hefty sword. So he has a green dice and a black die, and he is needing to roll under his strength value of 3, but he will probably boost this with his 1 point of stamina to make a power attack, which will add a yellow to his dice roll. So he needs to roll under a 3 here. See, they're much better at doing damage. Look at that. That's pretty hefty, isn't it? So that is going to be a total of 2. And currently 3 damage going through. The Oblivion symbol doesn't do anything for him. However, the Dragonborn can potentially block this, hopefully. So she's got just her leather armour, but luckily we picked up that Ring of Fortify arm, which adds a yellow. So 2 yellow die here to try and reduce. We get 2 reduce, so she will take a single point of damage. However, because this has damaged the Dragonborn, it's going to give her the staggered condition, which is going to be a real problem for her in terms of gaining her resources back. So staggered, she can't boost any actions, and any models attacking this target gain a -2 to melee attack rolls, and that will go away in the recovery phase, which is not quite yet, sadly. So let's see who's left to go, because this guy has activated, but his was a response. So let's see in our magical bag of tricks who it's going to be. It's going to be number 4, which will be the first Draugr, which would have been him, but we'll just go to the next one, which is this fellow in the corner. So let's see what he does. He gets 2 with the sword. So his swords are going to be to move. So I think, is he within range? He is within range. So he is going to go and walk on up to the Dragonborn here, and he is going to pile into combat. So we're just going to see how outnumbering works now. So outnumbering adds an additional green die, so I think this is definitely going to hit with the staggered adding -2. So He's going to take a swing. He, as we said, has got a black die and a green die on his base melee attack. Gains agree because of outnumbering, and he'll spend his stamina, because naturally they will, to add a yellow for this to make it a more forceful attack. So we've got a power attack going through. Needing to roll under a 3 at -2 built in. So we get 7. -3 would take us to 4, -1 would take us to 3, -2 more, even more successful. And we've got potentially 4 damage going through. Now, the trigger here that we've got would add piercing, so I'll actually cancel out one of the Dragonborn's successful defensive abilities. So let's see how she does. With her 2 yellow die on defense, thanks to her ring and her armor, she negates 2 of it, but obviously this one will be nullified. So out of that 4 damage, 3 goes through. That knocks her down to a single point of health, which has been a pretty awful turn for her. And we'll have to see now how this is going to work out as we move forward. But with that activation phase done, we can now go on to looking at the event cards. Let's see what we draw. We draw Open Ground. Choose one of your models. That model adds 2 inches to its basic movement allowance across open terrain till the end of its next activation. And we'd spawn in 3 adversaries, but none of them are dead at the moment. I think she's going to be very lucky to be able to use that open ground, but we'll see how we do as we go into turn 4. Turn 4 of 8 then, and this could definitely be the last one for the Dragonborn. She's not feeling great, and she hasn't got the initiative here. It's the adversary. So we're going to see who's going to go. Let's jingle in and see what we get. We get number 6. That's going to be the Draugr at the bottom here. Let's see what he's going to do. We've only a 3rd one piling in. Please no. So that is going to be the helmeted action for a might character. That means he's going to go towards the objective, actually. That's interesting. So an aggressive objective means that he will basically move towards the objective, and he's just going to simply throw up a shield as he protects this strategic valued, dragon bones here. I think we touched incredibly lucky there, but I think the Dragon Ball's still got to buy herself out of trouble. Now, luckily she does replenish reserve. She just can't boost at the moment, but she's at 1 health. So we're going to see if we can do some super quick healing here and stuff. So we have a sweet roll, but we also have our potion of minor healing. And I think that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to drink our potion of minor healing. It's a free action, which means it doesn't count towards our action limit. And it will restore yellow dice worth of HP. So we restore 1. It's not great, but it'll do. So she's on 2 currently. I think we need to just start swinging, don't we? So she's going to try and attack this Draugr here. She's unable to boost this, but luckily, like I said, she's pretty hefty in combat. So she's got a green and 3 yellow thanks to her Banish the Wicked. She needs to roll under her strength value of 5. Come on, girl. Come on. She gets a 4 at -3. That is successful. And she has got 3 damage going through. Now, the helmet would restore a stamina, but she doesn't need to worry about that. So the Draugr that she's attacking hasn't got the best defense at all. It's only got 1 yellow die on its defense. So let's see how it does. Needs to get 3, which I don't think it can. No, takes a point of damage and is killed. And I think that is incredibly lucky there, and also be able to buy her a VP. Now, we've still got 1 action left for the Dragonborn. I'm not entirely sure what she can do. She can't search this token at the moment because she's got an enemy nearby. Now, she will recover her staggered once she finishes her activation. So I'll tell you what, let's get that shield to do some work, and we will basically put up a block and then end our activation to get rid of the staggered. And they will just knock this roof flying as well. There we go. So let's see who's left to activate. So we've got a reaction straight away, which is going to be this guy. So he's immediately going to see if he can put that shield to use. He also gets the helmeted one, which means he's going to go towards an objective. Now, this is really weird. The nearest objective is actually down here. If I just pull the camera back, we've got that puzzle token that we put into place. So rather than actually beating the living daylights out of the Dragonborn, he's going to fade away and back towards the objective. So target is within 3 inches of the objective. He would use his attack action, otherwise not. Do you know what? I think the Dragonborn is still a threat. I'm going to have him take an attack action. So he's going to swing at her because I think that's only fair. Otherwise, he's not going to just magically disappear out of combat. So, a green dice and a black die versus her. He needs to roll under his strength of 3. Obviously, he'll naturally boost it, so he's going to add a yellow to this. Strength of 5, -1 takes it to 4, so he misses with that swing, which is incredibly lucky. I was being very charitable towards him there, and he didn't want to help me out. So, that's the end of the activations because we had 2 of them go. Oh, we're just holding on for dear life, aren't we? So let's see what the event card says. What do we get? We get the Blessings of Arche. Roll a red dice and distribute that many health points amongst any of your wounding model. I've never seen this one before. That's really helpful. Right, let's do that then. We roll a red die. Distribute 3 health. She's back at full health. Thank God. The Blessings of the Divines, the 9s have helped us out. That's not bad. Right, so we're on full health. That is great. We know exactly who our patron is. Unfortunately, it does bring in an adversary. So that Drago that we just killed is going to come back on. So odd number down here, even number there. We get an even number in 10. So he's just going to pop on. Let's chuck him there. What an incredibly lucky activation. I will take that every day of the week. So we do manage to get a victory point this time because we have been able to kill an adversary. It puts us on a measly 3, and I'm pretty certain I need 8 or more to avoid this being a failure. But we have initiative next turn, so let's see what the Dragonborn is able to do as we go into turn 5. Turn 5 then, and our girl is living an incredibly charmed life at the moment, isn't she? So she's on full wounds, which is great, so we don't need to eat our very precious sweet roll. And she has activation priority. So I'm going to get rid of this shielded because I'm actually going to take a different action now, so that blocking is going to go. I'm going to try and kill this Draugr. So we have got what is it again? Green dice with 2 yellow. I'm going to boost this to make it a precision strike to add a green in. And of course we get our yellow for Banish the Wicked. So 2 green, 3 yellow, looking for a strength value of 5 or below. Come on. We get a 5 there at -2, -2. Only 2 damage going through. It's not great. So let's see how lucky we are. So Draugr has an armor rating of a yellow die. Can he block it? He only blocks 1 and they only have 1 HP. So she gets the kill. Thank God for that. So even though she's getting absolutely swamped, she's doing a really good job there of clearing the way. So that's my first action. My second action is obviously going to be to search this treasure. Let's see if we can get another one. We've got an oath to keep. So let's remove this marker and let's see what kind of one is this. It's going to be locked. Oh, it's not locked. That's fantastic. So let us see what treasure we are able to acquire. So we have got a fine dwarven sword and a potion of strength. So the dwarven sword is actually better than my steel sword. So I get a free swap action. So I'm going to immediately swap that over, and then we've got a potion of strength, which will discard this card as a free action to add the potion of strength diminishing effect, so I can boost myself. I think I'm just going to keep hold of that for future adventures. That seems sensible, but that's really handy. So now we need to see what this skeleton down here is going to do. He's the nearest one to react. So he gets the Oblivion symbol for the Path of Shadow is going to be to attack. Now, I'm going to presume he's just leaning over this barrier and popping a shot into the Dragonborn. So we are within close range. It's going to be a green and 2 yellow. It will naturally kind of take an aim shot using its stamina because it's on the Path of Shadow, so add another green to that. And it's going to need to go under its stat value of 3. So, see how it goes. It gets a 5, minus plenty, and 3 damage going through. God, they really want to hurt her. So, our Dragonborn then, for her defense, she's not blocking anymore, which isn't going to help her too much. So, she's got the yellow for her armor, and she gets the yellow for her ring of Fortify armor. So, we need to stop 3 damage that's going through. Let's see how we get on. We stop 3 damage that's going through. I will take that every day of the week. So she will block it. This guy has activated, and now we'll need to see who is left to go. So jingle in, grab a token. It's going to be number 4, that is, which would be the first Draugr, which is going to be this one here. So let's see what he does. He gets the helmeted icon, which is, again, this idea of he's going to dash towards an objective. So The nearest objective is this puzzle token, which he's going to go stand on, and then he's going to simply throw up a block, basically being like, if you want to come and solve this puzzle, you need to solve the puzzle of my claymore first, which is not the best thing for the Dragonborn. I think she's had enough of those guys with heavy swords. So we now need to see if we can draw a decent event card. So again, we're not getting many VP at the moment. I'm really concerned about this. We did actually search treasures. We can see if we can find some ingredients, can't we? What was it, an intelligence test we need to make? Oh, Dragonborn's intelligence of 3 is not going to be helping us too much. Let's see if she finds any ingredients. She does. We have 1 set of ingredients out of the 3 that we need at the moment, which is not super, but you never know, might go well. And then we have got to draw an event card. So let's see what it is. Evasive maneuvers. You may choose one of your models, engage with an enemy. That model immediately moves up to 3 inches and may move through other models. Models not, and blah, blah, blah. So we've got no one engaged, so we're okay. It would have been handy, actually, last turn. But we do spawn a new model, so let's see where this Draugr is going to turn up. Odds down here, evens that way. It is evens, so he is going to turn up. Let's have him just come down the road, essentially, to this position here. I don't think where I put them doesn't matter too much, because I think I'm going to have to be heading towards this direction. And that'll bring us to the end of this turn, as we now head towards turn number 6, getting towards that end game now. Turn number 6 then, and we've got the adversaries having the initiative here, so let's see who's going to go for them. It is number 4, which will be the first Draugr along, which is going to be this guy here. So let's see what he wants to do. He's currently projecting that objective, and he's going to continue to protect that objective. So Path of Might, he's going to continue. He would put up a block, he already has, so he's quite content to sit there having activated. That's not too bad. So over to our Dragonborn then. So she's going to replenish a stamina. I think hers is going to be very straightforward. I think we're going to have to sprint. Yes, we're going to spend that stamina straight away. And we are going to sprint our way around to this treasure token here and hopefully be able to unearth this one just to make sure that we can get that oath and secure those victory points. I think she's going to have to go on an absolute killing spree for the last couple of turns. So let's see what we've got underneath here. We have got... oh, another unlocked one. She's getting very lucky with these chests. So, Treasure Hunter, we get to draw 2 cards. What do we get? We get a Potion of Plentiful Healing. Good, that replaced the one that she drank earlier. And we also get Gold. This card adds 1 VP to your score if the hero is carrying it, who is in play at the end of the game. That's not bad at all. I will take hold of that and hopefully keep her alive so that she is able to score that. So that is both of her actions completed. Now we've got 2 adversaries that are nearby here in the skeleton and the Draugr. So odds, skeleton, evens, Draugr. It's odds, it's the skeleton. So this one here. What are you going to do, my friend? You are going to Oblivion symbol. You are going to take a cautious... well, no, it's an attack, actually. So it's going to be an attack action. Now, there's obviously something in the way, so I think he's just going to simply scoot around and then pop a shot into our lovely Dragonborn. It's obviously going to be in short range. So that is a green and 2 yellow. And I think it's going to boost it with its precise shot for a green for accuracy as well. So we've got a stat of 3 that we need to roll under. We definitely succeed with that. And we've also got 2 piercing. Now, I'm not sure if these stack, so I'm just going to have a quick look. So I believe only 1 piercing can be chosen here. So at the moment, we currently have 3 damage going through against the Dragonborn with a piercing that will negate 1 of her defenses. So again, we've got our yellow for our armor and we get a yellow for our fortify ring. So we're going to need to beat, we need 4 here realistically. We need 3, we block 1, but that gets ignored. So that 3 damage that the Draugr hit immediately goes through and puts her on 2 health. That is not very good at all. She's feeling poorly again as that skeleton pops a shot into her. Now, that will bring us to the end of these activations though, because we've already had this fellow go. So let's have a look at the event. Do you know what? I actually need to remember to see if I've found any ingredients. Have we found any more ingredients? Come on, Dragonborn. She has not. She cannot find ingredients to save her life at the moment. But it does take us to the event phase now. So let's see what we get. We get Divine Inspiration. Choose one of your models. That model may re-roll any number of dice from its next skill or attribute test. That's not bad at all. I will take that one for my defense. And we can check for any VPs. So I've not got any kills there, which is problematic. So again, I think we're just staying on a measly 3. But on the upside, I have got the gold and I have now fulfilled my oath, which is worth 3. So she just needs to survive now as we go into turn 7 and see if we can get some kills off. Alright, penultimate turn then, and we need to play for some points here. So the Dragonborn, she's going to replenish her stamina. I'm going to spend that potion of plentiful healing. I would have loved to have kept that for the next scenario, but I'm going to have to spend it now to try and roll a black dice and replenish that much health. I replenish 2, puts her on 4 health. That's not bad as a free action. And then I think we just need to try and get stuck in and score some points. This objective, this strategic one, is going to be my best chance of that. So I think I'm going to spend a stamina to take a sprinting action. So I'm going to go 6 to there and then 3 just to go and engage this fellow here. And then I'm going to buy an attack against him. Now I've got my upgraded sword, which is great. And I think I'm going to boost this as well to spend a stamina to try and see if I can make this a precise strike. So she has a green, a red, and a yellow now because of her fine dwarven sword. She gets a yellow because of Banish the Wicked, green because it's precise, and we're looking for our stat of 5. Come on, murder. Do the murders. Ooh, what is that? Is that a 5? I can just see. Let's move this water wheel out of the way. It is a 5. So we have been successful there. We don't get anything for this special action. We have got 3 damage currently going through on that Draugr. Now you'll notice he's got shielded. Now they're quite interesting because the 2-handed weapons, they don't block the same way. They don't just get the passive yellow. They actually need to pass a skill test by removing this token to see if they can use a yellow die. So I think the Draugr has a, 2-handed skill of a 3. So let's see if he's successful. He gets a 7, so he does not get to use that block. So he has simply got a yellow die for his defense. And yeah, Dragonborn smites him immediately and turns him to ash, which is a pretty hefty attack. I mean, it was costly in terms of stamina, but it did the trick. Now, has she ended within 6 inches of this skeleton? I think she has. So what is this skeleton going to do? He's going to go with a Path of Shadow. Oh, it's going to be a fight action again. It's going to be... Oh, no, it's not an F. What's an F? An F is a fall back action. I will take that. You definitely fall back. You run away. So he's going to sprint away. So, yeah, Path of Shadow. He's going to just simply sprint away from the Dragonborn. They would attempt to hide, but essentially he's just going to dash behind the cover there. Oh, lucky girl. Right. Let's see what we are going to draw now for their activation. We've drawn a number 2. That would be the second skeleton down. Now, this one has already activated, so let's draw another one just to see if we get someone different. We get a number 1, which is the first skeleton, the one right at the top of the screen there. So let's see who this is going to be and what that's going to be. It's going to be an Oblivion symbol. That is simply going to be a Path of Shadow and attack action. Right, so their range for their maximum is 16, which I think they are. If that's 9, yeah, they're definitely within range. So it's going to try and pop a shot from all the way over there. It's going to thread the needle, hopefully won't hit her in the knee. So, oh, sorry, I had to make that joke at some point, didn't I? Right, so it's got 2 yellow die on this attack. It's obviously going to spend its stamina to try and make this more of a precise shot, an aim shot. It needs to pass under its stat of 3. It fails miserably, gets a 10, nowhere near. Dragonborn just bops out the way as an arrow flies past her, which is incredibly lucky, and I will absolutely take that. So, that's all the activations done, so let's go to the event phase then and see what we get. We get the Way of the Voice. It must have someone with a dragon shout, deal damage and or inflict status effects on enemy models at least 3 times with dragon spells before they get... Well, I haven't got a dragon shout equipped, so I'm just going to fail that, but I do have someone who's capable of it, so... It's not a bad event, but it does bring in an adversary. So let's bring in that dragon that we just killed. Odds top, evens this way. We get evens. So he's going to pop out just there, ready to go for round 2. But you'll notice that we are controlling that objective. So very thankfully, that will buy us another 2 victory points, which takes us to 5, which is very lucky. Now, we don't get to search it for ingredients again because we've already done that once. It's not like it's magically going to grow them. However, now we've hit 5, we get to level up, we get to spend those victory points. Now, I still keep them in terms of scoring, they're just spent in terms of if you've got more than one hero, you can't use them multiple times. So I'm going to flip the Dragonborn's card over, and she is, well, she's definitely earned it with the experience she's got in this battle. She's now very angry and is leveled up for the future campaign, which I am going to be most pleased with. So I think that's everything done. We're on 5 VP so far. We still need to gain a fair few to do better, but we do actually gain one more, didn't we? Because we killed a Draugr, so we're on 6, I believe, with my super mental math skills. So I'll take that as we go into the final turn. Okay, last turn of the game then. We just need to stay alive with the Dragonborn, which I think is priority number 1 here. So let's see who's going to go for the adversaries. We draw a number 3. That's going to be the skeleton at the bottom that is nearest her. What are you going to do, fine sir? You get 2, which for the Path of Shadow is going to be a cautious move. So a cautious move is simply going to be to move behind cover and try and block or hide. He can't do either, but he can just hide behind there. That's not bad. Then we've got the Dragonborn. I think I'm good for VP either way at this stage. So I'm going to get 3 more. I'm sure I've probably missed some along the way that people remind me of. So I'm going to replenish a stamina when she goes. Now, I could use my sweet roll here just to make sure I stay alive, but as long as I get stuck into this guy, no one else is going to activate. So she's going to spend a stamina and she is going to sprint as she barrels into this Draugr that's just at the bottom. I'm just going to move the camera around just so you can see. There we go, you can see it's about to go down, and she's going to then spend her last stamina to do a precise strike to try and swing at him. So we have got a stat of 6 now, strength of 6 that we can roll under. That's good. We've got the green, we have got the yellow, we've got the red, we've got the bonus yellow, we've got the bonus green because we've boosted it. Trying to do the murders. She does the murders quite heavily there, so that is, 3 hits going through. Currently, it is successful. Draugr, I don't think you can block this. No, you can't. So he is just immediately removed, and that will gain us an additional VP in a minute, which I will be happy to take. Now, no one else is within 6 inches that hasn't already activated. That guy's already gone. So that will bring us to the event phase as we finish up. So let's see what card that we flip. We've got the last one that I've got here. What was that? If the adversary rules are in effect, choose a point in the game table within 6 inches of one of your models. The adversary, which is this one, spawns. So another one pops up within 6 inches. I don't think it matters. Let's just thematically just say he kind of jumps out the well. He's like, haha, surprise! Well, Draugr, the worst of the Draugr. And that will probably bring us to the end of the game. So I'm going to total up my VPs and we'll see how we've got on. Oh boy, that was definitely a trial by fire, wasn't it? I think the Dragonborn is very lucky to have came out of that relatively healthy at 4 wounds and leveled up, which is going to be really handy for future adventures because she carries that through. And you know, she's got a sweet roll. I'm gutted to have spent my potions, but at least I've got a cool sword and a sweet roll out of it, which is handy. And that ring of fortified defense, fortified armor, which is brilliant. So, VP-wise, I think I killed an adversary that round. I've got the gold that I was holding on to, and I've completed my oath of making sure that I search all of the treasure tokens. So I think I get roughly around about 11 points. I'm sure I probably missed one somewhere, but it is a narrow victory according to the win scenarios, and I would 100% agree with that. That was definitely a narrow victory. But luckily she'll be able to heal herself up a little bit between now and the next scenario, which is going to be the second part of the Bleak Falls Barrow series, which is the Golden Claw, where she hears some rumours about a potential artefact that will get her into an old ruin. But yeah, I think she's going to make a hasty escape from here and just make sure everyone knows to stay away from the watermill and the weird well that has a load of undead. That's a bit sinister, isn't it? Now, we weren't able to find all of our ingredients. We only found 1 so far. I'm going to presume that 1 success carries over, hopefully. So in my next one, we're going to see if we can carry on finding those ingredients for that quest, because it is part of a chain and we'll have to continue to see how well we do. But yeah, with that, let's go to our final thoughts.
And we are back, and maths aside, I think I was very, very close there. Whether I had the VPs to go either way, I think I got very lucky with that objective being a strategic marker that I get 2 VPs for. I actually found it quite difficult to eliminate as many adversaries as I could as I was trying to go for that treasure oath. And I think maybe when you scale it up a little bit to that kind of 150 odd Septim 200 limit, where you have maybe 2 characters like an accompaniment to help the Dragonborn, then you've got a few more activations to play with, and I think that supports you greatly. But having 1 activation to 2 potentially adversary ones was very difficult. That being said, I thought she did fantastically well. I mean, the look of the cards really helped her a fair bit, the odd heal and also getting some of those items. I think her having Treasure Hunter is amazing because it means that you get 2 pieces of equipment or 2 items or whatever you need to support. And I think she's really well kitted out now that she's leveled up to go into the next scenario, which, as I said, will be the Golden Claw. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. Like I said, this is more of a acid test, shall we say, battle report, just to see how it is to film. I quite enjoyed filming it. It's relatively quick, actually, and hopefully it's been enjoyable for you to watch. Now, there will be rules mistakes throughout. I'm sure I've popped them on screen, but like I said, I've only had the game a week. I'm trying my best with it. It's quite hard to get through everything in like 1 camera shot per activation, so hopefully it's been enjoyable. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and let me know if you'd like to see anyone support the Dragonborn in the future so I can buy those boxes and get them painted up too. But a big thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi guys, thank you very much for watching our content. It means the world to us. If you'd like to see some more videos, they should be over here. And if you'd like to support our channel, keep these lights on. You can find links to our Patreon and merchandise in the description below. See you later.